Good evening. Well, hello there, and welcome. Do you enjoy having your films reviewed, not by an actual paid film critic, but by a middle-aged woman in a 15-year-old car? You do? Then you've come to the right place. Hey, what's with the really weird intro, Katie? Dunno, to be honest. Just vibed it. Switched the camera on. That's what occurred. I guess because I feel like this is the start of a new chapter in the Katie in a car saga. One new chapter started when I changed cars, although I've done that several times since the channel started because I don't have a lot of luck with cars. But I feel like this is the start of something new. It's my first review in the month of February, for starters, but it's also my first review of a film watched at my new cinema. And it's my new cinema because now my old cinema, my beloved Odeon Kettering, is no more, is closed. Now, last time I did a review, it was for the film Flight Risk, starring Mark Wahlberg and Topher Grace. And I said that that was going to be my penultimate viewing at the Odeon in Kettering, but it ended up actually being my final film. I planned to go up on the last day, which was last Tuesday. I was going to go and see a final film, and I'd picked something really classy. I'd picked a silver screen performance of Pedro Almodovar's The Room Next Door, which would have been a really classy farewell. And then fate and an unwell child, my own, not somebody else's, got in the way, and I wasn't able to go and see a film on the last day the cinema was open. So that was a bit of a bummer. I did still go up to say goodbye to the building, which I realise is a ridiculous sentence. But if you're accepting of middle-aged woman reviews films in cars, then you need to also accept middle-aged woman needs to go and say goodbye to building that she once worked in and that she frequented as a customer. So I did say goodbye. I'm still quite sad about it. I think I'm still processing the fact that it's I'm never going to set foot in there again. But I also can't not watch films. And I can't not go to the cinema because the cinema is my happy place, my therapy, my place that I go to just switch off, recharge, all that sort of jazz. So this evening, having signed up to Cineworld Unlimited, I went over to my nearest Cineworld cinema, which is quite a nice one, at a place called Rushden Lakes, not that far from where I live. Don't get me wrong, a lot farther away from my house than the Odeon Kettering was, but it is my next nearest cinema, I guess, and I went there tonight to see the film Companion. I went alone to see a film called Companion, and the irony of that is not lost on me. It did feel weird. I have been to that Cineworld cinema before for a couple of times. It's really nice. It's still quite new and fancy, especially compared to my beloved old Odeon, which was like 27 years old. So it still feels like quite shiny over at Cineworld Rushden Lakes. So I went there this evening. It was a bit too peoply for me in that there was probably about 12 other people in the screen, which felt busy to me. But everybody behaved, which is good because obviously I won't tolerate any nonsense. And the film itself was excellent. So Companion is I guess comedy horror film is the best way to classify it. It's not an out and out horror, scary horror film, because it's just not. But there are quite horrifying elements. There are some quite gruesome deaths, and it's also definitely a comedy because it made me laugh a lot. It's also wonderfully short. Big up the 90-minute films. I hope they're making a comeback because like A Real Pain was quite short. This was 90 minutes. I want value for money, but I also don't want to be sat there for 3 hours if I don't need to be. I don't want to be sat there for days. So yes, this was short, punchy, very funny, quite violent, and really, really entertaining. Now, it said on the posters that it was from The Twisted Minds That Brought You, Barbarian. Now, Barbarian was an out-and-out horror film that was out a couple of years ago. I really enjoyed it. This is nowhere near as much of a horror film, but as I said, it does have some quite horrific deaths, and it's not for the faint of heart or the weak of stomach. So Companion is the story of a couple. They are called Iris and Josh. Iris is played by the excellent Sophie Thatcher. If you have watched the Paramount Plus TV show Yellow Jackets, then you will recognise her as the younger island-based version of Natalie, who in the present day is played by Juliette Lewis. And Sophie Thatcher was also in the horror film Heretic with Hugh Grant towards the end of last year, which I also saw. So she's very much star on the rise, and she's very, very good in this. She plays Iris, and her boyfriend Josh is played by Jack Quaid. Now, Jack Quaid has definitely had the term Nepo baby levelled at him in the past, and that's because his parents are Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan. So, not one, but two Hollywood parents. I think it may have helped him get his first acting gig or gigs. I don't think that's what's kept him in work. I think the reason the guy still gets work is because he's a really good actor. Definitely has physical similarities with both parents, but he has carved out a really nice career for himself. So he got his start in the first Hunger Games film. He was tribute, I think, from like District 1, one of the really bad ones. He's also in the Prime Video series The Boys. I saw a trailer tonight for a film called Novocaine that he's going to be in, so he's getting a lot of work, and rightly so. Both him and Sophie Thatcher are excellent in this. It's actually got quite a small cast, which I liked. So basically, Josh and Iris are going to spend a weekend with some friends at a lakeside house. It's very isolated, very beautiful, very swanky. They are there as guests of their friend, or I should say, Josh's friend, Kat. Kat doesn't really like Iris. You get the impression that Iris is kind of quite a new girlfriend on the scene, and Kat isn't keen on her. Kat is dating a Russian guy called Sergey, who is mustached and bemulleted and very, very wealthy. And then there is another couple there for the weekend, friends of Josh and Kat, who are called Eli and Patrick, who are a couple. So Sergey is, as I say, clearly very wealthy. Kat is his mistress. We're told he has a wife and, fingers in lots of pies. And yeah, so they're there as his guests. And over the course of the weekend, things go somewhat awry. Now, I'm loath to say too much about the plot because I pride myself on no spoilers, but I think it's fairly apparent from the poster and the trailer that Iris is in fact a robot. She is a companion robot. Let's call a spade a spade. She's also like a sex bot. So it's obviously set in the not too distant future where you can pay a company to hire or buy a companion. The company's called Empathics. They deliver this bot to your house, and it will be your partner. It will love you. It will support you. It will say all the right things. It will do anything you ask. So there are programming in place to make sure that the robot cannot hurt you or themselves, that they can't hurt anybody else. There are certain limiters to stop them being misused. So Josh has essentially hired Iris to be his girlfriend, and that turns out to be the reason why Kat is a little bit resentful of her. It's not revealed straight away, but like I say, the trailer and the poster do tell you that that is the case with Iris. And things go, as I said, somewhat awry. I will say no more than that in terms of the plot because I don't want to spoil anything. But as I said, it's 90 minutes long, it's violent, it's funny, it's got great performances. It is brilliantly executed over a very short time frame, and I would encourage everybody to go and see it. It's an absolute romp. And my first visit to my new cinema was successful. I will be back there ASAP to watch more films and then review them for all you lovely people. Until next time then, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. And I will be back with you soon. Thanks for watching. Katie out.